Welcome into our second video from this little series where I take the time to answer all of those questions in a much more relaxed and chill vibe for the beginning of this new year. If you miss too much of the red tie, I can still put it right here. It's gonna be very weird. But anyway, it's just a stupid shit. Our first question for today is from Relax Videos 4418. Could you make a video on leading people in positive and high states? I know that the first step is to put yourself in that state. Great, he has watched the video so far. Nice job. But what to do next? How to put them in a yes frame apart from the yes set technique. Obviously, yes, the yes set technique is just a slight improvement for salespeople, but not the whole thing about it. In terms of shifting somebody's state, well, first of all, let's address the threshold. Where exactly is that person on the threshold of positive versus negative mindset or mood? Somebody who is at an extreme level of depression, extremely sad, they just lost somebody, that might not be the best moment anyway to lift them up, unless you are the therapist and they paid for a session. In that case, yes. But if it is not in a professional context where they have asked you to help, there is a threshold past which it is just not the moment, and it is not your responsibility either to try to change their state. Now, aside from those extreme cases, let's say you just have somebody, a friend of yours, who's not in a great mood and you know why, you would like to help them, something lighter than extreme trauma cases or stuff like that. In that case, you need to understand first that no technique whatsoever, NLP, hypnosis, whatever you want to use, no technique is going to work by itself. It is the number of techniques you use that increases the propensity of success in that context. There is a great line from somebody you don't know about, so let's not mention him anyway. The line is understand being successful at catching a fish. Being successful at fishing is not about understanding how fishing works. It is about understanding how the fish thinks. And that means you need to get inside the head of that person to find anything you can grab that is positive for them. Let me explain. When you want to change somebody's state, it is not about having the one sentence, the one language pattern in mind that will make them so happy and beautiful. It doesn't work like this. You succeed at this by throwing a bunch of hooks in the water, hence the fishing metaphor. You throw a bunch of hooks in the water, like a 10, 12, 15 hooks in the water, and you notice which one catches a fish. When you want to change somebody's state, keep changing the topics of conversation, keep adapting your questions, keep adapting the techniques you use if you know about anchoring and you know about submodalities and you know about this Ross Jeffries technique and you know about visualization. Keep using all of them, and if it doesn't work the first time you say it, it's not going to work the second time you say it either. So take the first reaction you get and adapt from there. Okay, I thought about this language pattern. Oh, if your problems were already over, coming from the Milton model. Okay, that is a technique I can use. If your problems were already over, Alex, for example, or Nicholas, or Jenny, or Maria, if your problems were already over, what would it look like? And I notice the response. If they have a sigh and like they open their eyes and they're like, oh, I would do this and this. Okay, it works. So now their state is changing. Now I can double down on this. If there's no reaction, or if they just say nothing, that didn't work, don't stay there. Move to the next technique. Okay, what else could I use? Maybe help. Maybe telling them about how visualization works. I might tell a story about myself when I was in a pretty bad mood myself, and I visualized how happier I could get eventually, and it worked on me. I don't pretend it's going to work on you. Embedded command, work on you. But at least it worked on me. And I noticed the reaction, same thing. Do they become more curious? Do they become more attentive to what I say? If it is the case, elaborate. They don't show any reaction, they don't care. Move on. Don't stay on a topic that doesn't work. Move on, next thing. Okay, the language pattern didn't work. Visualization doesn't work. What else could I use? For example, I can ask a question to them. Has there been ever a time where you felt well, despite what's happening in your life right now, has there been a time where you went through similar dark moments and you recovered? Did it ever happen to you? And let's say this time, oh, something code up, something worked. They connected the dots. Yeah, this time it worked for me because this happened and my boyfriend told me this and I really hated him. But then I thought this and then I felt okay. And then we just reconciled and then we just talked about it. It was really such a relief. Okay, now you are going somewhere because now you have caught a fish. You just threw a line in the water, caught a fish. Now you expand. Oh yeah, so what happened? And so has there been any other moment like this one? And so what did your boyfriend say if it is about relationships? And go on expand like this. So the main strategy is to throw as many techniques as you can. Never get attached to something that didn't work the first time, at least not in this conversation. Maybe tomorrow, today, somebody else, yes. But with this person right now, the thing you say, if you don't notice any reaction at the moment you say it, forget about it for now, at least. Maybe later it's gonna work. At least for now, it's dead. Move to the next technique. Anchoring, submodalities, visualization, asking them a question about their past, fishing for a resource. What kind of somebody who's never motivated, has there been at least one time where you have found yourself motivated more than you thought you could? Has has this ever happened to you? On and on and on until one thing clicks, pops in their brain and they find a solution, or at least you can see on their body language, their eyes become wider, they may start to smile, they may have their shoulders more relaxed, maybe they lean in more toward you, maybe they get closer to you, they close the distance because they want to hear more about what you say. Any sign they are getting more engaged with what you say, double down on it. And more specifically, pun intended, you're going to get more specific. Once something worked, then you use the meta model. It is the next step. Once something clicks, once they get engaged and they get more positive about the thing that just worked, their state starts getting higher and more positive. Then you use the meta model to chunk down in their head all the reasons why this works on them. So let's say when you asked the question, has there been ever a time where you went through similar difficult moments and you recovered from it, or you found the solutions for this? And let's say this question, we don't know why, but this question worked. Okay, then you chunk down. Okay, so what happened? Who were you with? How long did it take? Oh, it took like 1 hour to really recover. Okay, 1 hour. What happened during that hour that didn't happen before? Well, I just told myself it was going to be okay. Oh, you told yourself. Was it a voice in your head or was it the voice of somebody else? No, no, it was the voice in my head. I just said this. Okay. Has there been any other moment where you noticed that voice in your head? Oh, yeah, when my mother used to tell me when I was a child. Oh, your mother used to tell me when you were a child. Is there anything else your mother told you that really made you more happier when you listened to her voice speaking to you at this moment? Oh yeah, she said this and this. Chunk down, chunk down, chunk down. More specific, more specific, more specific. And usually guys hate that because they don't like to connect with feelings. They just want to stay on random information. But if you want to get somebody in a more positive state, chunking down anything that works for them is going to be of massive importance. Then the final, last step, which is optional, maybe don't have to do this, is to remember the main buzzword, the main critical term they are using to describe what it feels like when they feel good, or what it looks like when they feel much better. If when you make them describe their best experiences in life, they say, I just felt relieved. Oh, it was such a relief because I felt so relieved, and it reminded me of how much relief I got when I was with my boyfriend, whatever. Then you remember, okay, relief. That is the word you remember, a relief. And then that becomes the anchor. So now we can talk about anchoring. If that person gets into a low mood again, you might challenge their low state by asking what would it look like if you could find a way to discover some relief about this situation right now. What would it feel like? Oh, I'm just asking that out of curiosity, just for the sake of my understanding. Would there be a way you could find some relief? Embedded command. Could there be a way you could find some relief about this at this moment? If it was possible, I'm not implying it is possible. Embedded command. I'm not implying it is possible. I'm not implying it might happen right now. I'm just asking, could there be a way to find some relief about this right now? Because I know in my life, if I could find some relief about this, that would be so great. So if I could find some relief, I know I could do other things with my life, more productive with my time. Do you think there might be a way somehow someday where you could find some relief about this problem? And if relief is not the word they use to describe, use any other term. Maybe they said whenever things are great for them, they just feel more excited about life. Okay, excited, excitement. What would it look like to find excitement right now? You keep using the exact words they used to describe their experience once you have chunked it down. So, as a recap, first you fish for anything in their internal experience that works, that allows them to feel at least less bad, at least less dramatic, and at least more empowered about what they can do about their situation. Then, once you keep adapting, when something doesn't work the first time you say it, adapt something else, something new, another line, another topic of conversation, something they're wearing maybe. They have a big shirt with Rolling Stones. Oh, you love rock bands like Rolling Stones. What do you like about it? See if it works. Maybe yes, they love music. Then once you find something, you chunk down. Okay, what specifically do you like about it? How do you know you like it so much? What was the best moment you experienced with that? Who else was there when you discovered you loved it so much? If it could be even better, what would it look like? Then you encore, you remember in the back of your head any word, specific word they keep using to describe how great their experience is when they feel good. And you expand on those words, maybe with suggestions if you are advanced enough to use that, like I did. So you say, for example, okay, so if there could be a way, I know in my life, if I could find a way to find so much more excitement, like you described, I could do so many more things with my free time. Did you ever experience a time, a moment where you could find that level of excitement with somebody else? If yes, if no, whatever. Then you just see where the conversation goes from there. And that is funny because I had one conversation like this just like 2 days ago, actually, with a girl I was walking down in the street after a party, and she was somebody who had a lot of shit in her life. I'm not gonna expand on this, but really loaded. And I noticed the conversation was just looping in all the bad shit that happened to her. She was not acting as a victim at all. She was pretty impressive woman in that sense because she was acknowledging and taking ownership of all the things that happened to her. So pretty interesting. But it was always coming down to which other shit happened to her. At some point, I tried something intuitively. I said, was there ever a time where you did not have so much trouble? She had eating disorders, she had homelessness problems with her parents. Many shit happened. I said, what was there ever a time where you were good in your life, where things were good? And she asked, "What do you mean? Like, since all my problems started?" I said, "Yeah, since your problem started, or maybe even before that." And she said, "Yeah, yeah, definitely. When I was, I think when she was 15 years old, she was in middle school, and she had a great music teacher who really acted like a father for her, basically. And she described to me what it was. I sensed a huge, for that matter, a huge relief in her words when she explained that. So then I made her expand. Okay, this music teacher, what did he say? Well, like, what did he do specifically that made you be in that good space in your life at this moment? And she talked about this, and we were starting to get closer. And a guy who was drunk, but who was passing by at this moment, stopped and looked at us and said, "You two look so cute together," which obviously worked in my favor, but not more about this. Just to say, it is always possible to take somebody and lead their mind in a more positive state if you are patient enough and if you don't try to see that as a competition. If they stay in a low mood anyway, whatever, not your responsibility, unless eventually if you're a therapist and they paid you for coaching, different story. But if it is just somebody in your regular life, you're not entitled to change their state either. So be patient with them, be calm, and in any case, there is always a way to at least make them see their life and their problem with as being something a bit more manageable, a bit easier to handle. Maybe they won't solve all of their problems right today. At least they might have some relief, therefore, about what's happening to them. That is all for this video. We are going to record right now for me and watch later for you the next one with the next question. Thank you for listening.